Hey man, welcome back to Man Time. Today's episode, I got an interesting phone call. And somebody needed a chainsaw. Now they had a 455 and another chainsaw. They took it to the shop to try to get it fixed. They were having trouble keeping them running. The service shops charged them about $100 for a service. Got the chainsaws back and no change. Still just barely ran. When you go to cut, it was just bogging down. So I had this one stashed away. This is the first and only chainsaw that I've ever bought new. And I used it for about 3 tanks worth. I think my 350 had blown up, and I had to get this one. I was doing firewood for sale at the time, and I had several customers that wanted firewood. Went and got this one, ended up finishing out the couple cords I needed to, and then it's sat ever since. And this is probably talking 5 years ago. So Husqvarna 455, we're going to do a service on it, and the deal is, if I can get a good running saw, it's actually for my father-in-law. He's going to give me his 455 that doesn't run, and then it's like a 240 or a 120 or a 140, something like that. 2 saws that don't run. So let's see if we can get this serviced and do a functionality test on it, and then maybe we can get it sent off. Maybe do a muffler mod. I don't know. We'll see how peppy this thing is in the wood, and then figure out if we just want to send it on stock or need to do something to it. Welcome to Man Time. Alright, so first thing we want to do as far as functionality check, I put some gas in it. First thing I did here was just push in the decomp, roll it over, making sure the engine turns over good. Now like I said, I've maybe had, 3-4 tanks through it, and that was pretty much it. I took off the side cover and chain brake, chain and bar. Just looking in here, looking at the... Now this has the sprocket built into the hub here. It doesn't have a rim sprocket, or I would probably put a new rim on there. But this doesn't look too bad. Blew it all out with compressed air. One of the things, the pull handle was sticking a little bit, so I popped this off of there. There's 2 metal pawls on your flywheel. Put a little oil on those and freed that right up. It was kind of having trouble going back in, and one of those pawls was kind of sticking. So I guess just a little oil and wiggled it back and forth and stuff there. Other than that, it's a really clean new saw. Essentially, it's 5+ years old. Let's see if there's a date on it here. Let's see, 9. Okay, so this is a 2010 model. So 13-year-old saw. Used 3 tanks of gas. This is why I don't buy new things. If it's too nice, I'll just set it on a shelf and not even bother using it. Like I said, first new saw I've ever bought. First, last, and only, for that matter. But let's bar it up here, put a chain on it, put it all back together, and then put it in some wood and see how powerful this little guy is. Alright, well, I think I've got it ready to start up here. Yeah, it was funny. He was telling me, it was my father-in-law, he was telling me he's going to get a new chainsaw, and I was like, cool, what kind of chainsaw are you going to get? What's going on? And he's like, man, I'm thinking about, I'm a Husky guy, I'm thinking about going steel. I just don't know. And he had been running his 455 for 15 years, was pretty attached to it, pretty sad to see it go, and I said, man, I think I got one of those laying around. Let me see if it'll start and run, and maybe we can do a little trading. So I think that's what we're going to try to do here. Alright, let's turn it on, choke it, decomp, see if it's going to run, and then put it in the wood. Yeah. Oh, that's good to know. Good running saw there. Well, sometimes you don't need to modify anything. I mean, this cut through the wood just like butter. Ran, started, idled, super smooth, fast enough. Yeah, I mean, my father-in-law isn't going to appreciate any sort of modifications, you know, in the fact that he doesn't need them. Right? All he wants is to start a saw, get it up and running, and then cut his firewood. They live up in snow country, Idaho. And, you know, a chainsaw is life. Firewood is life. The wood stove being burned to avoid the freezing temperatures is life. I think I'm just going to leave it as is, drain the gas out of it, package it up, and get it shipped out. So, yeah. This is a good running saw. Shouldn't have had it kept up in the chainsaw case in the shed all these years. It's interesting. Anywho, I'm going to get this packaged up, shipped off. I've got a busted one coming, so we'll be porting it out, doing a muffler mod, all that stuff on a 455 on one that I'm, you know, isn't just perfect as is. So that'll work out a lot better. Anyways, that's going to do it for today on Man Time. Get out there, have you some man time too.